What up, though? It's your boy, The Face of Travel, and I'm still telling these travel stories. This time, I'm taking you to the beautiful island of Cape Verde, and I see that this last World Cup put Cape Verde on the map. But I went to Cape Verde many years ago. I was there long before their recent popularity. And how honestly, I can't remember how I initially got put on to Cape Verde, but I've been knowing about Cape Verde since I was least in my teenage years. I remember running into a Cape Verdean dude down in Atlanta back in the day. And for those that don't know, the reason Cape Verde wasn't that popular really into the World Cup because the majority of them only live in a select few places. Most of them are in Massachusetts, Boston, they're in Rhode Island, Connecticut, I think Hartford, not Hartford, Connecticut, but New Haven, Connecticut, and they're in Rotterdam, which I love, in the Netherlands. They're in Portugal and in Luxembourg. So it's not like a Dominican or other groups of people that they're pretty much spread all over the world. The Cape Verdeans are in certain areas, but they're beautiful people. The women are amazingly beautiful, but a lot of them think they're Spanish or think they're Brazilian. Now, the crazy thing with Brazil, they kind of do have the same mix because they both were subjugated by the Portuguese. However, the Portuguese would hit Cape Verde before they would even hit Brazil because Cape Verde is off the coast of Africa, not too far from Senegal, and it's not too far from Portugal. That's how I went. It's only a 4 hour flight. Now, what really got me really want to go to Cape Verde was Akon. I think back in 2010, he had a show over there, and the person who brought him over there, I ended up becoming friends with him later because this Cape Verde story crazy. So I remember looking at that video like, man, this Cape Verde that I heard about back in the day. So I knew a little bit about Cape Verde, and so that piqued my interest. So about 3 years later, I said, man, I want to go to Cape Verde. So my homie Malik, Malik is another brother that I met in Australia that started traveling before I did, and he helped me out in my early years of traveling to connect me with people. So his best friend that he went to North Carolina A&T was in that video in Cape Verde when Akon was over there. So he connected me with this dude named Louis. May he rest in peace because Louis is no longer with us. And Louis connected me with his cousin Zay. May he rest in peace. He was the one that brought Akon over there. Zay got a crazy story. I'm going to tell that too. So that's how I got my contacts for Cape Verde. But I had to figure out how to get there. I said, okay, it's easy to go through Portugal because in the States, the only way you can get there is through Boston. So I was in Europe at the time. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do Portugal as well. So I spent time in Lisbon 2 times. I kicked in Lisbon for a weekend before I went to Cape Verde, and I kicked it in Lisbon for a weekend when I got back. So now, I'm boarded, on my way to the beautiful Cape Verde. Get on the flight from Portugal, and I land in Praia. And I'm like, wow, I'm back in Africa. I started traveling to Africa in 2009. So anytime I get to go anywhere on the main continent or one of the African islands, I'm excited. I get there, Zay there to pick me up, and from there, I meet another dude named Kelvin from Roxbury, and he got a crazy story. I'm gonna tell that as well. And they introduced me to Cape Verde, and it go crazy. At this time, me and the homie from Roxbury were the only Black Americans there. I mean, I'm talking about Cape Verde just recently got popular. A lot of people talk about they going. I don't know because Cape Verde ain't as easy to get to, but we'll see. So on my part 2 of the Cape Verde, I'm gonna tell you about all my stories of how I moved around there. But this is just the introduction of how I got to CV for sure.